So, coffee. It's one of the most cherished and beloved beverages. But are you choosing the right one that's best for your health? Hi, everyone. This is Tara from Be Well Healthy Living. And coffee. So, coffee is a beloved beverage enjoyed by millions of people in our own country and throughout the world. But are you really choosing the best coffee that is good for your health? There's so many options out there. There's coffee drive-throughs, there's coffee everywhere. There's coffee memes. I mean, we pretty much live in a culture that almost worships coffee. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's kind of glorified. It's like we kind of make jokes how much caffeine we have. And coffee is easy to get with the Starbucks on every corner. But coffee is, people worship it because, first of all, it tastes good, but second of all, because it has that caffeine content, which is known to wake people up and keep people going in this overstressed society. So that's a whole other discussion point right there is people on that hamster wheel of life and needing excessive amounts of caffeine to keep you going. So, but that's a whole other video for another day. Today, I'm going to be talking about coffee that is good quality, that you can make choices to uh, make healthier choices when it comes to choosing your coffee. So there are all budgets, all different types of budgets of coffee out there. You could buy Folgers, you could buy your expensive brands that are maybe $15 a bag. Um, so, there's lots of choices, and I always recommend buying fair trade and organic coffee. And the reason why is because I like fair trade is because it ensures that the farmers on the other end who are growing it, because there's a lot of different steps and middlemen in the process, but it ensures good life all the way around. So fair trade coffee is usually going to be a much higher quality coffee than your cheap basic coffee. Now, I always also like to do organic as well, because that way you're ensuring that you're getting healthy coffee. And generally, when it has the organic fair trade labels on it, you're gonna find that there's much more pride in how it was processed and how it was grown, and so the practice and the cultivation of it is going to be a lot better for you, free of toxic pesticides and chemicals that might go on them. So I always choose organic and fair trade when I choose my beans. Now, I know a little bit about this subject. I actually used to sell coffee, so I roasted coffee myself. So I I for a time we did coffee roasting, and I would sell it at my local's farmers market. And I love good coffee, and it's amazing. So one of the things that we have to be careful of is that there's lots of what they call mycotoxins in coffee, some basically mold in coffee that's cheap. So if you're drinking coffee beans that have mold in it, if you think about how a person uh, acts and how a person feels when they have mold exposure, it could be very detrimental to your health. It can mess up your health. So that's why avoiding mold exposure you always want to avoid mold exposure. And if you're drinking it every day in your favorite beverage, thinking you're waking up and you're drinking mold, it's going to have detrimental effects on your health. So investing in good quality coffee that's not going to have those mold mycotoxins, that's going to be better for you, is going to do wonders for you through the day. And so there's always a time for a good caffeinated beverage, and I'm not anti-caffeine. However, I personally prefer decaf. Especially if you're trying to do a hormone reset, if you have a lot of adrenal fatigue from years and years and years of chronic stress, getting yourself and weaning yourself off of chronic caffeine and drinking caffeine regularly is going to be good for rebalancing your hormones. Now, not all decafs are created equal. There's two different types. There's chemical, where basically you leach the caffeine through chemical means, or you do the Swiss water version, and that's much healthier. So if you're looking for a decaf, make sure that you find it's labeled on the package Swiss water, Swiss water process of decaf. So that is going to be extremely important in the decaf you choose. I know it sounds crazy. I know a lot of people that are avid coffee drinkers are going to think I'm talking nonsense here by actually recommending decaf. But sometimes it's about the warmth. You know, you hold your cup and it just feels so good, and it tastes delicious. So you want to, I'm not saying you have to give up your coffee. I'm just saying may hold back on that caffeine when you're trying to reset your hormones, because that caffeine is going to be a hormonal disruptor for you, not in a bad sense, because you can actually use caffeine for the right reasons at the right time. So you learning how to use it at particular times. If you're not caffeine dependent, and if you, like, we've all gone through caffeine withdrawals, if you know what it's like to like come off of caffeine, you're going to get those headaches. So if you are drinking a lot of caffeine, I recommend you wean yourself off so you don't have as bad headaches as you're coming off of it. But too much caffeine dependence will throw off your natural production. Then when you don't have caffeine that often and you really need that mental clarity, you're working on a project, or you need that energy boost because you had a long layover in an airport or something crazy, guess what? You have that to pull from. And guess what? That caffeine that you're going to have is going to have so much more powerful effect on you if you're not normally drinking it. And then when you do, you're going to be like, boom, you got it. So that's how to use caffeine a little bit more intelligently for when you might need it. But caffeine and coffee, it's a great thing. And also to be careful with your morning, coffee, or even your afternoon coffees, about what goes in it. It's so common. There's If you go through your favorite drive-through, chances are there is so much sugar in those beverages. So you want to stay away from sugary caffeinated beverages. That is a recipe for disaster for your overall health. Yeah, I get it. They taste good. Yeah, that caramel macchiato or that pumpkin spice latte. I get it. It's fall, baby, right? You want to have that pumpkin spice latte. But having that first thing in the morning, or your International Delight or your Coffee Mate creamers, are loaded with lots of sugar and other unhealthy ingredients. And so I highly recommend you look at how you are enjoying your caffeine beverage in the morning. And I think that's about it for this video. I hope I wasn't discouraging for you. I'm not trying to be discouraging. I'm just saying, when it comes to coffee, because I realize, I get it, we are all going to be drinking coffee. It's not going anywhere at any time soon. Just make healthier choices when it comes to choosing your coffee. If you choose Maxwell House or Folgers, you're not going to be getting a great quality coffee that's going to be beneficial in any way for your health. But look for smaller roasters. I personally look for small local roasters. Almost every town will have a small local roaster. Support small business, shop them, and most of the time you're going to get a much better quality. Even if it's I hope that those small local roasters are going to choose organic, fair trade. Sometimes they don't, but I always recommend organic and fair trade for your coffee beans at home. But I always say also to support small local businesses. Buy your local coffee beans, and you're already going to be well off from coffee beans that were roasted not that long ago versus months and months ago that have been sitting to grow stale on a supermarket shelf. Enjoy that beverage. It's fall. I mean, I get it. We're going into winter. So thank you so much. I appreciate if you like, subscribe, and follow. And there's more great content coming up in the future. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.